Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is David. I'm coming at you all with the brand new LEGO Ninjago video, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down and analyzing every single scene in the brand new Ninjago Season 9 trailer that has just dropped today, a few hours ago. And something to note is that this trailer is not in English, it is actually in Japanese. And there might be a select few of you in the audience who of course understand this. If you guys do, I have uploaded the original trailer onto my channel. It's going to be the previous video to this one, and you guys can of course translate the audio to that. But I actually muted the audio to this trailer for this video just because most of us are probably not going to understand it. It's just going to get in the way of the actual analysis. And of course I did slow down this video halfway speed just because I wanted to give myself a lot of time to kind of dissect everything that goes on in this trailer and pause at the right moments so that you guys can of course get the best experience and get an in-depth look at what this trailer has to offer for Ninjago Season 9. So the trailer does start off with this awesome scene which sets up the setting for the main antagonists of the season, which are of course the Dragon Hunters. And so they have their huge hulking tank vehicle, which is the Diesel Knot, and it's approaching what looks to be like the Dragon Den. And this is the main headquarters for the Dragon Hunters, and it kind of gives me this city of Ouroboros vibes, which is an ancient lost snake city way back when from the Ninjago Season 1, Rise of the Serpentine. And it actually does have a very similar function, as you guys will see later on in this trailer. But yeah, this huge hulking tank is approaching the headquarters, and the gates are opening to of course let this thing in, and we have a bunch of Japanese text which I have no idea what it means, but if any of you guys do know, then of course leave a comment down below. And so we have this huge, I'm assuming, speech given by Garmadon, and he has these Sons of Garmadon banners flying because he's obviously conquered Ninjago City. And I do want to bring something to note. Under his helmet, right in between that YouTube and then those yellow, I guess Japanese symbols, right? There's a little hint of purple. And I want to bring that to attention because in the next scene, I'm trying to kind of pinpoint where Garmadon is in this scene through the next scene. I'm going to explain that real quick. But also pay attention to the skyline color, because in the following scene we actually get to see a nice skyline shot of Ninjago City. And if you guys notice a little bit closely, there's actually Garmadon's gigantic colossi just standing on one of those buildings, and that skyline for Ninjago City looks exactly like the sky that's shown when Garmadon is giving that speech. If you kind of rewind it a little bit, you guys will see the colors pretty much match. So I'm assuming this is probably the same exact day that this shot was taken, and probably the same exact episode. And with that little hint of purple, you can probably assume that he's standing on top of this gigantic colossi, giving this speech to maybe his followers or to the citizens of Ninjago City, informing him that he has now taken it over. Now, something else to note is that Borg Industries has actually been taken over by Garmadon, because if you guys notice, there is one building that's burnt down, and it has that hexagon design on top, and that of course is Borg Industries. And I'm assuming that Garmadon has taken this over as his own main HQ and base of operations, because in the next scene we actually get a close-up look at the base of it. And as you guys can see from surrounding buildings in Ninjago City, we have a bunch of Sons of Garmadon banners hanging out there, probably indicating that this city is now subject to the Sons of Garmadon group. And at the base of the Borg Industries tower, we actually get to see that there's a huge Sons of Garmadon banner right above the actual doorway into the building, and the entire building has changed colors and made its way into black instead of the usual silver, white, and blue, which I'm assuming Garmadon did purposely to of course express his evilness and use this as a base of operations. Since it's the tallest building in Ninjago, it would kind of make sense because it's usually a very important spot in Ninjago City, since that's of course where the final battle took place between Lloyd and the Overlord. And so in the following scene, a lot of fans got confused because Lloyd is seeming to fight his own friends. And as we actually fast forward, we get to see that Samurai X's mech punched Lloyd. And that's very shocking to a lot of people. And in the following shot, we have Lloyd and Nia discussing something with each other, and then she proceeds to actually hit him and throw him against the room. Now, first of all, I do kind of want to establish a setting to this room. I do believe that it's some kind of underground bunker, and perhaps they're just training against each other, because why would they try to fight each other for real? Because their numbers are spread spread really thin. I mean, the original ninja team is in a brand new realm, and it's mainly just Lloyd, Nia, Misako, and Pixel. And so why would they try to attack each other? I don't think that Lloyd would be that stupid to pull off some kind of evil doing, so I don't really believe that there's anything that would put those two against each other, especially Samurai X. I think that they're just training in this brand new bunker that they've located. And I do want to point something out, because this is probably significant in the latter portion of this trailer, but there's some kind of ventilation system with that fan looking thing on the wall that is kind of significant towards the later portion of the trailer, so just pay attention to that, because we're going to be coming back to that at the end of the trailer. And in the following scene, we actually get something very interesting, because it's a very pleasant surprise. We have the return of the Elemental Masters. And so what's probably happening here is that Lloyd has summoned them to this underground bunker area where they're hiding from Garmadon, because he needs a force to take on Garmadon himself. And so he obviously needs the help of the Elemental Masters to take back Ninjago City from the Sons of Garmadon, and most importantly from his father, Lord Garmadon. And it's awesome, because we're finally going to get to see all these Elemental Masters return. In the following shot, we actually get a very interesting shot, because there is something frozen right behind the ninja, and I'm assuming that's actually a dragon that was pitted against the ninja to fight them in the Dragon's Den fighting arena, because obviously Zane is in this shot and he's using his elemental ice power in this scene right here, so I think it's safe to infer that he has frozen the dragon behind the ninja. And something to additionally note is that there's actually a chain emerging from the dragon, and I believe that they're probably holding these dragons in captivity and holding them in some kind of arena, which also brings back those City of Ouroboros vibes to me. And we actually get to see the ninja fighting off a bunch of dragon hunters, and a bunch of them we actually have not seen before in sets. The only two that we've seen before are Muzzle, and there are actually a couple of Muzzles in the scene, and a Dragon Hunter Ninja. Most of the other ones, the female ones in particular, we have not seen in sets, and so if LEGO was to do any kind of promotional, I guess, polybag for Ninjago Season 9, I would really appreciate them to include some kind of female characters from this scene in particular, because they look especially cool, and it's kind of a shame that we're not getting these minifigures. And so in the following shot, we have to get a very nice look at this Oni ninja. And following that, we actually get a very nice close-up shot at a young Wu, who is obviously growing up at a rapid rate, and he is accompanied by Cole, because they have just discovered the Stormbringer dragon. And I do have to say, this thing looks really epic, and I must admit this, but in my first viewing of this trailer, I did think that this dragon was really goofy looking, because I thought that those yellow things on top of his head right now were his actual eyes. But of course, as I fast forward it, his actual eyes are onto the side of his head and not at the top of it. But I thought that this was a very goofy looking dragon, but then when I actually got to see how this dragon looks like when he turned his head around, it kind of made sense to me, because it looks really cool. But something to additionally note is that he also has a chain around his neck. So maybe he was captured and just held in some kind of spot, and it was up to Cole and young Wu to rescue this dragon from captivity from these dragon hunters. And in the follow-up scene, we actually have Cole and Wu walking along, and they discover some kind of cave which have these carvings of dragons. So I'm assuming this is where we're going to be learning the lore of the dragons and the Oni a little bit more in depth, because we did get a little sneak peek of that in Season 8 with Mistake and the ninja in the tea shop. But other than that, we have not gotten a lot of detail about the wars between the dragons and the Oni. And so it's going to be really cool to see what these cave markings actually mean. And in this next shot, we actually get a very cool scene, because the ninja are pitted up against a very mysterious dragon, but I'm assuming that this is the firstborn dragon, the queen of the dragons, because in the next close-up we actually get to see a red eye and of course a red dragon skin, which obviously resembles the firstborn dragon, since that's one of the only dragons that we've gotten in sets that has a red dragon scale color. So I'm assuming that she's probably going to be hostile towards the ninja, but as soon as she does spend a little bit of more time with them, she's going to realize that they're very friendly, and she's probably going to make an alliance with them. And she does have a very significant role in this season. Next up, we get a close-up shot of Iron Baron, and he looks extremely cool. I have to say, he looks very intimidating, especially when he has his army of Oni dragon hunters by his side. Now, I'm inferring that this scene right here takes place inside of the dragon's den, because we have Iron Baron's throne here, and obviously we have that symbol on top of there, which I'm assuming is his crest on that banner, and he looks very, very intimidating on that throne. And we have, of course, Muzzle there. We also have Jetjack and a couple of Oni ninjas, but there's also another female dragon hunter, which I'm really confused. I wonder why LEGO didn't include them in sets, because it'd be really, really cool minifigures to get in sets, especially with those hair pieces. I mean, they look incredibly well done. So I just wish that we kind of had a little bit more variety of these Oni minifigures in Ninjago sets. And the following scene is probably the most interesting scene in the entire trailer, because we have the three ninja, Kai, Jay, and Zane, pitted up against the Earth Dragon, and must I say, this thing looks epic. I love how this thing looks in the show, and I cannot wait to see an HD image of what he looks like in the Dragon's Den set. And obviously he's also chained, because I'm assuming he's also been captured by dragon hunters and is forced to fight the ninja in order to maybe secure his freedom from this pit. I have no idea. But when you actually look in the stands and risers, we get to see these white and black specks, which I'm assuming are representing the dragon hunters, because those are the typical clothes and skin colors of those characters. And so they're probably watching this fight go down for amusement, and maybe the ninja have to secure their own freedom by defeating the dragons in this pit. Who knows? But they're fighting off this huge dragon, which is epic. And as you guys can see, there are actually wings attached to that gigantic ice block behind the ninja, so that pretty much confirms that the creature frozen in the ice block is an actual dragon. And in this follow-up scene, we actually get to see Iron Baron probably making an escape on one of the helicopters, which is included in the Firstborn Dragon set. And he's followed by a bunch of Dragon Hunter vehicles, because you have this Jeep right here, which is very interesting because we actually didn't get that in the sets, I don't believe. So if they ever do make a Wave 2 of Ninjago Season 9 sets, they should definitely include this Jeep. But anyway, these vehicles are making their way out of the Dragon's Den headquarters, and they're of course followed by the gigantic hulking Dieselnot. I don't know about you guys, but that is an insanely intimidating vehicle, and I would not want to be chased by that. And then we have one of the final scenes in the trailer where we have Garmadon, of course, using his dark elemental power. I'm assuming he's standing on top of the gigantic Colossi, because we have what kind of looks like to be the gigantic rice hat on top of that gigantic Colossi. A lot of gigantics have been thrown around in that sentence, but that does look like the rice hat for the Colossi. And it does kind of make sense, because right behind Garmadon's helmet once again, there are a bunch of hints of purple, and so I'm assuming that this is probably from the gigantic Colossi that Garmadon owns. And the editors of this trailer probably did a little bit of false advertising, because they're showing Garmadon here, and they probably want the audience to infer that Garmadon and Lloyd are fighting each other. However, if you guys notice, Lloyd is in the underground bunker, and I'm pretty sure that gigantic Colossi cannot fit inside Lloyd's bunker. And we actually have that fan right there, so that obviously concludes that setting. So I do want to say that probably these are just two separate scenes, but edited together to make them seem like they're about to fight each other. But that pretty much concludes the trailer, because after this, we get the Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu Season 9 information, even though I can't understand any of this. But the date does seem to be July 13th. I did hear a couple of rumors that it's going to be releasing on July 30th, but we have a date here being July 13th. I'm assuming because the bottom left-hand corner has 7 and 13, and of course 7 o'clock. So I'm assuming this means on July 13th at 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. you're going to be watching the brand new season premiere to Ninjago. But this background looks insanely awesome, and that pretty much concludes my breakdown and analysis of the Ninjago Season 9 trailer. I really want to know what you guys think about this trailer down in the comment section below, because this is honestly one of the most intriguing trailers that I've seen by far. And with that cliffhanger in Sons of Garmadon, it is nice to know that there are a bunch of answers that we're going to be receiving in this season. I just cannot wait, because a lot of hype has been building up towards this moment, and this season is pretty much less than 2, maybe 1 month away, so it's really exciting, and I'd love to hear what you all think about this. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's video, then please leave it a like and subscribe for more LEGO Ninjago videos come to you guys each and every day, and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any more of my Ninjago content, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.